thanks so much for being here today. My name's Tom Signorello, and I've been a network marketing professional for 16 years, going on forever. And we have a real treat for you today. I've got a great relationship with my friend. This is Tom Big Al Schreiter. And for those of you who've never met Big Al, sit back and relax and enjoy this flight because you're going to learn some things today that is going to rock your world and help you recruit better. And just to give you an idea, I was fortunate enough in my company over the last 6 months to use the skills that I've learned that you're going to get ready to hear today from Big Al that helped me become the #1 recruiter in my company. And I'll tell you what, I can't think of a better person to introduce you to for network marketing training and how to touch people and reach them without causing shutdown than by introducing a Big Al Schreiter. Big Al, thanks for being here.
Thanks for inviting me, and I guess we'll get started with what
Yeah,
we can do.
let's go. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to let you talk.
Okay, well, if you're listening for the first time, let's just start with some good news. I want you to imagine that you bought the top-end Mercedes-Benz, but didn't know how to drive. So you looked at it and stared at it, and after about 3 years, you say, man, it's a great opportunity to have this car, but I can't even get inside. I don't even know how to open the doors, and I kind of missed out on that opportunity. And that's what it's sort of like in network marketing. So many people join, but they don't take advantage of the opportunity because they didn't learn the skills of how to, get inside the car or how to drive the car. And the point of this is that if you're watching this, you probably figured out, yeah, if I had more skills, I could take advantage more of this opportunity. So congratulations for being here. That's the good news. You figured it out. It took me a year and 10 months before I figured that out. So I'm a slow learner. The point is, the only thing between us and where we want to be is some stuff we don't know yet. That's it. Because if we knew the stuff, we'd be there already. So if you're looking and say, man, I want this, this, and this, we just have to learn new skills to get there. So in the little bit of time we have here, I'll cover a couple skills that might make things a whole lot easier. So the first skill that will keep us really happy in this business. We have the wrong beliefs when we come in. We think, well, I got to go talk to somebody and set an appointment. And then when I set the appointment, you set aside, 30 minutes or an hour and we talk to you. And then I get in front of them and then I do the presentation and show them all the stuff. And at the end of a 1 hour or 30-minute presentation, they're going to carefully weigh all the pros and cons and make a logical decision based upon the facts presented to them at that time. And that's how people make a decision. And of course, that would be true never. But that's what we think because we watched it on TV and we just think that's how people make up their mind. So why am I worried about how people make up their mind? And here's the reason. I go to a party and somebody says, Big Al, what do you do for a living? And I say, I'm a network marketing. And they go, well, that means nothing. And I said, well, I buy it wholesale, sell it retail. The differential is a retail profit. And then we have downlines and legs and bonuses. And they go, that makes no sense. And that was my career. Whenever somebody asked me what I did for network marketing, I gave my answer and I got rejected. So after a while, if they asked me what do I do for a living, I'd say, man, let me change the subject. Look, they're Superman. It's just embarrassing. So I had to figure out how to answer the question. And the question is, what do we do in network marketing? Here's the deal. Our company does everything. They have a website, they got lawyers, they have customer service, they ship their products directly to customers. They do it all. The only thing the company can't do is the only thing they want us to do, and that is to get people to make a yes decision. That's it. So the company says, we'll do all this, and all you have to do is just a little bit right here. That's it. And that's our partnership, which is pretty awesome. So I figured out that we're in the decision-making business. So now I go to the party, people say, hey, what do you do for a living, Big Al? I'm in the decision-making business. And then they ask, so how does that work? I go, oh, I don't know. And they say, you're still an idiot. I mean, how do people make a decision if that's your job? Well, I don't know. Is it like 6,000 reasons for and 4,000 reasons against? Is it some sort of hormonal flare up? Is it lightning strike them or little voices talk in their ear? I have no idea how people make up their mind. So we've chosen a career that we didn't even know what we're supposed to do. And if we didn't know what we're supposed to do, we don't know how the human mind makes up a decision. I mean, it's just ugly. So as we learn these things, all of a sudden we can start taking advantage of the super opportunity we've signed up for. So here's the shortcut. Without going into the neuroscience or any of that stuff, there's only two things you need to remember about decisions. Number one, the human brain makes the final decision almost instantly. And number two, based upon zero information. And there it is. And if you studied engineering like me, this is an assault on our senses. It's, we can't possibly believe this, that the human mind makes the decision on nothing and do it almost instantly. That's just crazy talk. I mean, what about, I just spent all this money on this PowerPoint presentation. Come on. Don't they need to know about the research of the scientists and the customers? No. The human brain, instant decision on no information. It's all over in a few seconds. And if you're hearing this for the first time, there's no way you're going to believe it. I know. So don't take my word for it. Let's just do a couple quick examples. And you take a look at your own life and you make up your own decision. Don't take my word for it. So here's the first example. I'm going to ask you, is it okay if I take your children skydiving with me? Now, how quick was that decision? In an instant, we either made a decision, oh, no, you can't take my babies. I love them so much. Or I would help push them out of the plane, depending on the relationship with the kids. But how quick was that decision? Instantly, based upon how much information. Wait a minute. We made the decision before you heard that I'm a certified skydiver, that I'm successful 3 out of 4 times, that we're only going to skydive 1 inch. We made a decision before the information. So that's kind of strange. Yeah. So let me just talk to the ladies. Ladies, have you ever seen a man come home from work, sit down in front of the TV, grab the remote control, go click, 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 go channel surfing? And women, you look at men and say, men are so stupid. They make their final decision, watch that channel or not before they've seen anything. They're idiots. Now, men, we have no defense on this, but it's what happens in real life. Let's go to the grocery store. I don't know what the name of the grocery store is where you live, but let's go to aisle 4, 4,000 items down that aisle. We're there with our shopping cart. Do we have to get a presentation on each one of those items to make a decision to put it in our cart or not? Do we look at that and say, oh, cornflakes. Tell me about the company founder. Are the cornflakes natural, supernatural, international? Tell me about the research report. No. We just look at cornflakes and go, we're on to the next thing. We make an instant decision on 4,000 things going down that aisle with no presentation. I said, all right. If you ever watch YouTube, like you may be watching this right now, usually it takes people about 5 or 10 seconds to figure out if they want to watch it or not before they've seen the whole video. Or Tom and I go to a restaurant. We sit down. The waitress says, what would you like to order? And Tom says, I like to have the chicken and vegetables. Do you think Tom asks, are the vegetables organically grown? Did the chicken have a happy life before they killed it? No. It's a decision, almost no information. So let me give you an example here that's you've probably seen. Women, have you ever, sometime in your lifetime, met a young man, made up your mind about that young man, where that young man would fit in your life, and made that decision within the first 30 seconds of meeting that young man? Almost every time, right? Now, men, is that fair? No, it's not fair, but it's what happens in real life. They made their decision before they heard our presentation. So we don't have much time here. So if I went too far in this one, it's Tom's fault. But uh, I'll say this. How many people here listen to this have sometime in your lifetime entered a relationship or got married before you had all the information? Some people say more than once. You went too far in that one. Okay, I went too far. But the point is, at some point, we got to stop being delusional and look at how the human mind makes a decision. The human mind says, I'm watching cat videos now. I don't want to give it up. And what you said to me, I'm going to make an instant decision. Yes, I want to do it. I like the outcome or not. If it's or not, I get to go back to my cat videos right away. If something I want, I might ask for some more information, or you can show me a couple of slides of your presentation, whatever, to answer some questions. But that's how people make up their minds. And you say, wow, okay, I can sort of see that. So the way I'm looking at it is people are going to make an initial decision. Do I want this or not? And they're going to base this upon the outcome, not what our product or service or company does, but the outcome. All they're interested in the beginning is, do I want this outcome or not? And once we concentrate on that, we say, wait a minute, I could talk to people with almost no rejection, talk to anybody by just talking in certain ways. Now, I'm a full-time coward, afraid of my shadow. So I spent the last 55 years in network marketing trying to talk to people rejection free because I don't like rejection. And it's not that hard. And as Tom and I were talking, there's certain magic words you can say. So let me show you a couple formulas. Here's the first formula. It's called tiny questions. Tiny questions are, the first question is, if you're taking notes, do you have this problem? Now, Tom and I were talking. He says, I usually chat with people, find out if they have a problem, focus on that because people want a different outcome from the problem. And problems are emotional, so they're going to take action right away. So I like doing that. So you're going to ask somebody, do you have this problem? And you can tell that from the initial conversation. Or if you're pretty much a pro in this industry, you know that most people have this certain problem. So the first question is, do you have this problem? Here's the second question. And the second question uses a sequence of magic words. I want you to feel the back of your mind when I ask this question. 5 words. Tell me what decision you sort of feel in the back of your mind after these 5 words. Would you be interested in? So would you be interested in? And the back of our minds go, woo, salesman approaching, dives, daddy dive, shields up, salesman, run, save yourself, hide your wallet, hide your purse. So those are magic words, but bad magic words. And when I started, I didn't want to offend people and I didn't want to be pushy. So I'd say, would you be interested in? And I just killed myself on demand. Now, the question I like to ask everybody is, would it be okay if we had 5 words that worked? And would it be okay if these 5 words had a default decision that were they always going to say yes unless it's unreasonable? And would it be okay if we just use these words to get people to do almost anything we want? And would it be okay if I shared these 5 words right now? So would it be okay if was 5 words? When we say, would you be interested in, the default decision in the human brain is no. If we say, would it be okay if, for some reason, the default decision in the human brain is yes, as long as it's reasonable, I don't have to loan you money or help you move furniture. So the second question is, would it be okay if? And as long as it's reasonable, they're going to say yes. So they say, well, how would that work in my business? I say, let's say you sold some nutritionals. You could say, do you have this problem? Do you find dying early inconvenient? Yeah. Would it be okay if you could live longer? Yeah. And then you're going to say these words. Then we should talk. You don't have to set an appointment or anything where you get rejected. You say, then we should talk. And I say, well, when? We can talk now or after work or something like that. Say, really? All right, let's try another one. Do you hate this job as much as I do? Oh, yeah. Well, would it be okay if we could fire the boss and work from our home? Oh, yeah. Well, then we should talk. When? Can't talk now or a coffee break. Okay. So, do you think our face should make a good first impression? Sure do. Would it be okay if we can keep our skin looking younger and get rid of wrinkles? Yeah. Well, then we should talk. Um, do you need more leads for your real estate business? Yeah. Would it be okay if I showed you how to do it and you didn't have to go on social media? Yeah. Then we should talk. Do you have this problem? Would it be okay if we fix it? And in that moment, they know the outcome. They make a yes decision. Let's talk. There's no more selling. We don't have to convince. We don't have to manipulate. We don't have to high pressure. They have already said yes, or are sitting on our side of the table instead of against us. I say, wow. So all you have to remember is, do you have this problem? Would it be okay if we could fix it? Then we should talk. That's one way of doing it. I say, well, that's pretty easy. How about another one? Sure. Let's do another one. There's 1,000 different icebreakers that we could use, but I like this particular one because it's more rejection free than most. And, I don't like rejection. So this is one you can comfortably say at weddings, funerals, family reunions, anywhere you are. The technique is this. Step number one, you're going to mention a benefit, any benefit. Oh, our business has lots of benefits. So make a list of benefits, a whole bunch. And you're going to use your judgment and say, oh, which benefit might fit this prospect? The second thing we're going to do is give them permission to say, yes, I desperately want that benefit. Please give me a presentation. Tell me how it works. And you say, really? So it's called permission plus benefit. And I'll copy and paste some here that we can actually put in. So let's put this to work. I'm at work. I say to my coworker, I think I'll be able to quit this job next March. Coworker says, oh. And then I'd say, would you like to know my plan? Permission. Would you like to know my plan? And they go, yeah, I'd like to know your plan. Tell me more. I said, well, then we should talk. No rejection, no chance of rejection. My mother lost 13 pounds last month. Benefit. Would you like to know her secret? Permission for them to ask more. Say, So I finally am getting rid of the last of my wrinkles. Would you like to know how I did it? Yeah. Then we should talk. I have a bunch of people sending me pre-sold referrals for my business. Would you like to know how I did that? Yeah. Tell me more. My friend Tom, everybody in the neighborhood hates him because he sits out in this front lawn every morning sipping coffee, waving goodbye to everybody else going to work. Would you like to know his secret? Yeah. So if you're taking notes, here are some permission statements because benefits are easy. You could say, would you like to know my plan? You say, all right. Or would you like to know what I'm doing? Or would you like to know his or her secret? Oh, yeah, I'd like to know her secret, how she's doing that. Or would you like to know what she did? Yeah, what did she do to make this happen? Or would you like to know how it works? They say, I could give that icebreaker everywhere. And if they say yes, which they always do, you say, well, then we should talk. I've never seen anything easier. You say, well, I could go to a networking event or B&I breakfast or just meeting people, but how do I get there? How do I get to this part of the conversation? Well, that's even easier. If you want to talk to somebody, all you have to do is say, what is new with you? They're going to go, wow, I get to talk about me, my favorite subject. Let me tell you what's new with me. I love talking about me. And you just build instant rapport. They just love you. Giant hug. And after about 5 minutes, they say, well, man, I've been doing all the talking. Maybe I probably should let you talk. So what should I say to you? And they're probably going to say, well, what's new with you? And you're going to say, well, uh, I used to work 5-day weeks, but now I have to work 4-day weeks. Would you like to know how we did it? Yeah, then we should talk. And you're saying, so what you're saying is you could do this whole business 100% rejection free and talk to anybody, anywhere, at any time. And they're probably going to volunteer and just beg you. They say, yeah. So there's so many of these magic phrases you could say that has an effect on people so that they hear our message. All we need to do is stop their brain from what they are thinking right now long enough to hear our message. And that's a little bit hard to do, but here's a shortcut. If you want to take iron fisted control of another human being's mind, realize they can only have one thought at a time. That's it, just one. And for them to think something else, you got to forget that thought and focus on the new thought. So, how do we get them to do that? Well, we can use our superpowers, and that's just ask them a question. Because if you ask them a question, oh, they have to stop what they're thinking to understand the question. Then they have to stop what they're thinking to think, how am I going to answer the question? We're taking control of their mind. I have some audios called How to Manipulate and Take Control of the Minds of Others for Fun and Profit. And it is just so easy once we understand how the human brain works. So the benefit plus permission works pretty good. So you're going to sit down with them and they're going to say, well, they might want some more details. Let me give you a little phrase you can start with. That's magic. You start off by saying this may or may not be for you. All the salesmanship has gone away. No more resistance, no more salesman alarm, no more skepticism. Just start off by saying yes, may or may not be for you. And when you describe your product or service, here's a cool thing you can do. Uh, there's a skill on objections, but there's a thing called hidden objections. And what do you think is the number one hidden objection you're going to run across in network marketing? The number one hidden objection that people don't want to say, but it's in the back of their mind that's holding them back is, I don't want to be a salesman. Now, they're a little bit afraid of saying that because they say, I might look like a coward or something. I don't want to be a salesman, but I don't want to take advantage of my friendships. I don't want to be trying to get money off of my relatives. I don't want to be that pushy person that shows up at work, doing fundraising. So wouldn't it be cool if we learned some pre-closing skills? And the pre-closing skill is saying, I know this objection is going to come up. Maybe not verbally, but it's going to be in their mind. Maybe just wipe it out ahead of time. So you can start your presentation knowing this. And this is the difference between looking at the car and being inside, being able to drive. You could eliminate that by starting off your presentation by saying, uh, half the people that we know think they're going to get healthy at eating McDonald's. And that's okay. Let them go. That's fine. They're happy. But for the half that want to feel better, they're thinking, what do I do? What's real? Because there's all kind of advice out there. And all we do is help those people make a better choice. So let me tell you how it works. And now they're thinking, wait a minute, I'm not even a salesman. I'm just going to be helping people. I'm going to like this business. I like helping people because I certainly didn't want to be a salesman. And you could say, well, all right, half the people we talk to have given up all hope on life. They're just sitting at their job, hoping they make it to 65. They don't want to do anything except go home and watch Netflix. That's okay. Let them be happy with that. But about half the people we talk to are thinking, there's got to be more in life. I've got to have a chance of doing something, but it's not too risky for my family. We help those people. You start off like that, people just nodding and says, man, I'm one of them. I could see myself doing this. So then we can tell them a little bit about our business. And you say, well, how do I wrap it up? So let's wrap it up now. The best way to wrap it up without being some pushy person is with 9 words. Here's 9 magic words to start with. So we finished it and we're going to say, so what is going to be easier for you? That's it. We say, so what is going to be easier for you? 9 words. And the human mind always says, I want to do what's easier for me, not what's harder than me. And if I get to choose, oh, wait, that means I have a choice. You're not trying to push me. It's all up to me. I feel good about that. I'm going to make it. And saying that, that means there's no possibility we'll ever get rejected. It's all up to them. Now, here's the reality. We're going to give them a choice between keeping their miserable life the same or our wonderful offer. We don't have to sell or anything. They've already said they wanted the offer already when we started. And most people have pretty good common sense. Like if our offers so they can earn extra money, they're not going to be saying, oh, more money or less money. I wasn't good at math at school. This is hard for my tiny brain. They're not going to say that. Most people have common sense and can figure out that what we offer is better than what they have. So if the timing is right and there's no extenuating circumstances, most people are going to choose what we just explained to them. So let me show you how that sounds when we give them a choice, an option at the end. So just think of the word option. So what's going to be easier for you? To continue paying a whole lot to Facebook to try to get leads for your business, or to get a whole bunch of pre-sold people coming to you as referrals by using these cards? So what's going to be easier for you? To keep exercising, eating funny foods and starving yourself and watching the weight keep coming back, or simply to change to this magic shake for breakfast instead of your normal breakfast and keep weight off forever? So what's going to be easier for you? To keep looking in the mirror every day, watching your skin get older, or to use this magic skincare cream at night to make your skin younger while you sleep? So what's going to be easier for you? To actually learn some skills to make your business grow, or continue just hoping and wishing it's going to magically happen on its own without learning some magic words and basic skills? So my career was started a long time ago, almost 55 years ago. And here's what I learned. I was motivated, but frustrated. I was excited, but I couldn't get the job done because I didn't have the skills. So all I've done over the last 50 some years is wrote down the things I've learned to say and do that people can use. That's why I have 50 books, almost one a year. So that's how Tom and I met, through books and trainings I've done. So anyway, for everybody listening here, here's the good news. You have figured out that if we learn what we don't know, we can get to where we're not right now. And that's so cool. They don't teach us network marketing skills in school, and our job doesn't. But as we learn more of them, we can learn to talk to people with almost 100% efficiency, rejection free. And all it takes is spending a few minutes a day to start learning a few new things to say and do. So with that, I'll turn it back here to Tom, and Tom and I could talk all day.
Well, we're not going to do that. I know people have things to do. You have stuff to do. I have things to do. But before we do go, I want to make sure people know about your website, bigalbooks.com, and how they can get your education. Why don't you talk about that for a few seconds? I know you don't like to plug things, but I want to make sure that I'm doing my best to help people in the industry who struggle with understanding how to make a jump, because I've found there's two kinds of people in the world: people who have professional income in network marketing and those who have amateur expenses.
Okay, so here's the deal, and I'll give you the budget. Um, if you go to bigalbooks.com, you say, how did you come up with that name? Well, bigalanbooks.com. Very innovative. If you go there, you can sign up for tips. We give out free tips twice a week. Long-term financing on that, it's free. So your investment is actually going to be to read the tips when they come. Like 3 or 4 really good, cool things to say twice a week, and start using them. Now, that's not going to work for you unless you actually go out and try it. So it's pretty easy. You can even test these on your children. So you can say to your children at dinner at night, so what's going to be easier for you, to eat your vegetables or never see a Wi-Fi password again? And you go, whoa, that is so effective. So go to bigalbooks.com. And while you're there, there should be some place there you can see, you can get a free book. A free book is called The Happy Networker. And The Happy Networker has a whole chapter of nothing but icebreakers that are rejection free that you can say to people. Now, it will take you probably a cup of fancy coffee and about 90 minutes to read. So I don't know how much the coffee is where you live. It could be $5 for Starbucks or something. So, but the book is totally free, but you will have to pay for your coffee. Sorry about that. So rest is up to you. So I said, people, what's going to be easier for you, to start getting a whole bunch of cool tips to learn to say what Tom says and what I say and other pros say, or to continue working 10 times harder without getting the results and getting rejection, which I'm still anti-rejection. So just go to bigalbooks.com and start there.
And how about on social media? Tom, do you have a place where you prefer to hang out, where people should connect with you, or not
Uh,
really?
we have a Facebook group called Network Marketing Questions. So if you're on Facebook, go to Network Marketing Questions, join the group, and people ask questions, and we give them the answers. And uh, they'll ask some unusual questions. But you see, there's I think 16,000 members or something like that. So you get a lot of feedback about what you can do for an answer.
Well, I'm definitely gonna share this out through different venues, and depending on where you are, it might be below us, it might be the side of us. But Tom, would it be okay if I put the link to that Facebook group in the chat area so people can find it and go find the group?
Yeah, yeah. Right here, I'll put see, think of how we do this. Is there a chat on this? Oh yeah,
I
here we
don't
are.
think I'll do it when I go and I
Okay.
share things out to the world. We
And
never know. It's like a dandelion seed. It blows out there. We never know where it lands.
I'll when I'm done, I'll send you the link where they can just download the free book directly. So
Perfect.
be good for them.
Perfect.
All right.
So in closing, is there anything else you want to share, or
No, I tell people your commitment is you figure it out. You're going to set aside a little bit of time to learn, and good luck with it, because you know it's a really great career once we get it right, and really kind of awful when we don't.
yeah. Well, I know I did it wrong for a long time, and thanks to you and what I've learned from your content and your hard work, I'm eternally grateful for the education I got, and I highly recommend people seeing this. They plug into bigalbooks.com. So, folks, that's our meeting for today. find a way to connect with us, and if we can do anything to help you elevate your career in the network marketing profession, we're happy to do what we can to help. So thanks very much, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll see you again soon.